Dee 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 dee. Keto living is the life for me. Coffee, cooking, and recipes. Spending my days with my doggies. So be a sport. Set your alarm for Wednesdays for the Warden's Report. Happy Wednesday! Another week of the Warden Report. I thought I'd check in. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the thumbs button and give us a subscribe. And I'm just going to talk about, all things high-fat keto and how I'm doing, show you the meals on what I prepare in order to get to 90% fat. So you definitely want to see that. One of the things I do, and be careful, there is a little bad word on this mug, but I make coffee. I make it by, I guess originally it would have been a pot, right? I have a big Chemex pot. Shout out to the wonderful person who sent me that for my birthday. But anyways, the Chemex, so it ends up making about 3.5 cups this size. This is kind of a small cup, but it's perfect. And in that, I do put 6 tablespoons of coconut oil. So right off the bat, that helps me get my fat. And what I thought it'd be interesting to talk about this week, y'all, is what's your why for being keto? And I've got meeting after meeting today, so let's talk about my why. One of the whys is focus. Before, when I ate everything I ever wanted, right? YOLO was basically my life, so I would eat whatever and basically was eating all day long. And I ate a lot of just, carbs, basically. Sweets. Oh, well, I have to eat breakfast, so let me get, a couple donuts and a kolache and, things like that. So I would kind of feel foggy all day. And then, of course, I'd have the afternoon slump. And I know that, mentally I didn't always catch everything, right? Now, I feel like, especially on high fat, because I've done carnivore before, but I definitely wasn't doing enough fat. I have such mental clarity, it's crystal clear up here. And again, that's because of keto and the fat. The fat's what's needed to do that. So I really enjoyed, that's one of the reasons why I remain keto. And again, if you are not focusing on weight loss, let's look at all these other benefits, and that it keeps you going on, maybe parts in your journey. I've been doing this for almost 4 years. I'm obviously not a size 2 yet. And it's because there's a lot more important things than your weight. And I know that's hard for some people to hear, because all our lives, all we focus on is how do we look? That's number one importance. And now it's really looking at the other benefits that are deeper than skin, right? What actually happens, because somebody, and we've seen this so many times, they could be a size 0, a size 2, they could be a runway model, and you're like, wow, they're so beautiful, look at how thin they are. Well, first of all, we need to change those beauty standards, because I don't think just because somebody is thin, that's what makes them beautiful, because I kind of believe in the beauty comes from the inside out. And so, but when you look at people like that, it's still ingrained in us that, oh, if somebody is thin, if their ribs are showing, if there's a gap in their thigh, therefore they're healthy. And oftentimes that is not the case. And you could see that there are people who have, sometimes those really skinny people actually have Hashimoto's and have other things that they struggle with health-wise. So remember to keep that in mind. If your main thing here is weight loss, is why are you wanting to lose weight? Really, ask yourself, why are you wanting to lose weight? Is it just so you can fit into those jeans? Think of what's the real reason. If it's all about appearance, I would say find a better reason. Point blank, find a better reason, because looks change, body type changes, and just being skinny, anything can make you skinny. You could starve yourself and be skinny. So let's move on past that and really focus on our whys. So I'd love it if you'd comment and let me know at least one of your whys you're keto. And then I'm going to actually have a breakfast today. I woke up really hungry. You got to listen to your body, right? So I'm going to try this Nola bar. I tried the other flavor last week. Let me see if it, maybe if I take my face out. There we go. The coconut chocolate bar. So let's see how this is. So the bar is definitely bigger. So I think what happened was that last one, it must have gotten hot and all went down, you know, because there is like fats in here, and so it must have melted. Because like there's my thumb, so it's like 2 thumbs, or here's my hand. Oh, there's the front of it. A lot of little chips in here. All right, let's give it a go and taste it. All right, y'all, let's see. Okay, that one is not so ridiculously sweet. I wonder, it is coconut and dark chocolate. So I think the dark chocolate, the bitterness, some people say bitter. I like the flavor of, I love the flavor of dark chocolate. Like, I will eat 100% dark with no sweetener at all. I love, oh gosh, I'm sorry you guys. I love that stuff. But I like coffee black, and I've heard that there's a correlation. If you drink black coffee with no sweeteners and no creamers, and you more likely will like dark chocolate, like 100% dark chocolate. So I think the dark chocolate and the coconut, I'm assuming the coconut is unsweetened coconut. All it says on here is coconut in the ingredients. So maybe that help offset it. I do like coconut in general. I mean, that's why I like the coconut oil in my coffee, because it does give a little hint of coconut. So it's not it's not like overwhelming coconut. It's just a little bit of it. And I enjoy just plain coconut. Like, oh goodness, that's good stuff to me. So this one, this one is edible. Like, I enjoy it. The other one was just way too sweet for me. I know we're all have different taste buds, obviously. You know, I'm just more of a person that prefers unsweetened. So when I taste something that's sweet, like, it really knocks me out. So I would definitely go with the coconut one and with the dark chocolate. Would I buy these again? Probably not, because one, I've never been a granola person. I think I said that last time. Like, a granola to me, it was diet food. So why would I want to continue that when I can eat a load of bacon? Like, again, that kind of is that mentality of, some people are like, I can't. No, change your phrasing. You can eat whatever you want. You can eat granola bar if you want, but you can eat bacon, you can eat pork belly, you can eat cheese. Like, there's all these wonderful
from office,
wonderful things that you can eat now. So focus on that. Like, what would I rather spend my money on? Because, you know, nowadays with everything, if I had $5, or, well, in this case, it's usually $10 for a box. Would I rather spend the $10 on 4 of these bars, or the $10 on like 2 pounds of bacon? That's an easy answer for me. I'll take bacon any day. So that's my thoughts. Y'all let me know yours. Interested to find out what would your option? Nola bar versus bacon. Which is the winner? Wednesday lunch, kind of a standard here. 3 Purnell's sausage patties, topped with that Love Chamois sugar-free sauce, and 3 tablespoons of mayo. And this is the Primal Kitchen mayo. Wednesday dinner. Again, we got 5 ounces of that brisket left. We're getting to the last of it, but we should have enough for tomorrow night. And then I have here a half of a jalapeno wrapped with 2 pieces of bacon. I'm really hungry tonight, y'all. And then this is 5.5 tablespoons. You can tell there's 2 different mayo. So I have the Primal Kitchen mayo. That's the one that's all put together. This is my mayo that didn't quite work out. I think maybe I overdid the oil because it started to be real thick and then all of a sudden it just went to liquid. Sorry, y'all. So, oh well. And then I've got some of that Love Chamoy and more of the Melinda's Ghost Pepper just to kind of get some more heat in there. And that's, you know, what I like to do. Oh, and yeah, to drink, I got Topo Chico now. We got them last time at Costco. So I've got those to drink for the week. And that's dinner, y'all. Sam is still learning how doors work. Look at this. I can't open it because your paws are right there. Your paws are right there. How can I open it? And watch, here in a second, he's going to push his... Oh, there we go. Now, hey! He's like, fine, I'll just go the other way. Thursday lunch, y'all. I've been hungry today, but I was able to keep working till lunch, which is about 1 o'clock. So I've got 4 Pernell sausages, 4 tablespoons of mayo. It's half my homemade. It just didn't set right. It's just kind of, I think I put too much oil and it's just a little gritty this time. And then the other half is the Primal Kitchen. And then I want stuff really spicy. So I've got, of course, the Love Chamoy, but I'm going to use this Dave's Insanity too. Just been wanting, like, what is it, the flat iron? I can't feel my face. That's what I want. Still have a coffee. Look, that's how much more coffee I have left. I don't know. I've already had 2 cups today, but this was obviously a 4-cup day. I added a little bit of this peppermint stevia to this one. I do like 3 drops, and so far it's pretty good. That's my lunch. Y'all, look at this. I know I'm whispering, but you see Delilah's paw is like interchanged with his. Isn't that the most adorable thing ever? They were just roughhousing a little bit, and I guess she's like, okay, I'm tired now. And he's like, okay, but look how cute they are. Oh my gosh. And if y'all don't know, we just adopted Sam about a year ago. I think February will be a year ago. And Delilah is our 12-year-old lab. So, oh my God, I almost want to have like a little happy tear. Thank y'all so much. I just got this in a little care package today from one of our wonderful subscribers of the HungryHorde. Look, I love this towel. Love is a 4-legged word. Isn't that the truth? And look, it's that really nice kitchen towel material. And look at the hearts. I love this. It's like perfect for like Valentine's to me. It's so sweet. But yes, that is definitely going up. I'm going to take down my Christmas ones. And then they also sent some tea they wanted me to try. I've got Earl Grey. And I like this. Keep calm and carry on. Perfect for my baker's rack. And then look how gorgeous this tin is. Breakfast tea. But, oh, isn't that beautiful? I love it. Look at the birds. I forget what type of birds that is. Somebody comment and let me know. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous metal tin. Like, oh, I love it. I really wish coffee would go all out and doing stuff like that, right? And then this really pretty box that I'm throwing. I'm so sorry. This real pretty box. And again, for decoration, they thought it'd be cute on my baker's rack. And it's just If I can get the lid off. There we go. Just a decorative box that you could fill with tea bags or coffee or who knows, whatever I want. So I'm going to be putting these on my baker's rack. So whoever sent this, I hope you'll see it in some upcoming videos. Thank you again. I love it. It's so pretty. Happy Thursday, y'all. I got the most amazing news at work. I'm not going to go into the details, just say, like, basically,
it's really cool.
Should be getting pretty nice promotion. Like, I knew probably around my year mark, which is in April, that I would be getting kind of pushed up to the next level. I was told today it's going to be a lot more than just being pushed up. Like, I'm being moved to a higher position overall, like a higher up team. So I'm like so freaking excited. I don't know the pay or anything yet. I mean, I know it's going to be more than what I'm earning now. I just don't know the details. Sad that I'm going to have a new manager, but I already know the manager I'm going to be under, and she's like so amazing. So I'm really excited. Like, we already get along really well. And my work bestie, it's both of us are going to be moving there, so that's awesome. We're going to be together. And and instead of waiting until April, which would be the year, they're going to start doing it like pretty soon. Like, I'm going to have to train my replacements and help the other people on our current team and all. So with all that said, which I'm just ecstatic, y'all. I'm so excited. Anyways, so we decided to go out tonight. Let me show you where we're at. All right, we are at Gringo's. It's so close to us. We were really wanting some Mexican food, and Gringo's is like maybe 10 minutes from our house with traffic at 5 o'clock. So we decided to come here, and it's pretty reasonable. There's a couple other Tex-Mex places we like, but it's, about $15 more per person. So this is a better, cheaper option, and it's closer. So, and they have chicharrones. Of course, the other two places also have chicharrones. I guess that's just pretty common here. For some well-known Tex-Mex places, they now offer chicharrones instead of tortilla chips. So I know some people are like, I can't go to Mexican because I can't refuse the chips. Well, here you could go because you could just get chicharrones instead, y'all. So yes, it is pork rinds. They do season them. And then we have here a bar salsa, which is their spicy salsa. And it's just chunkier, fresher made. It's really good. And then this, their cilantro, creamy cilantro. And then, of course, we bring our Redmonds. So we got the regular salt. And you're like, what? You even bring your smoked salt? Y'all, this is actually our, here he's showing me. This is our Texas 5 Spice. We bring it with us everywhere. Y'all that have had our Texas 5 Spice, do y'all bring it with you? Because we certainly do that. It's just great to, add in to salsas and jazz things up. It's so good, y'all. But yeah, and we just ordered some guacamole, queso with no onions, because I don't like onions in my queso, because it just seems like it's nothing but onions. And we ordered beef fajitas for 2, but I'll show you as it comes out. Hey, here's first course. Now, we're not going to eat all of this. Like, I know Heath really wants to take some of that queso home, but we've got the large guacamole, comes with chicharrones upon request. And then we got the queso loco, which has ground beef in it, plus sour cream, and more guac, and jalapenos, and chicharrones as well. So we're good tonight. So y'all, here is dinner. There's my veggie plate. So instead of getting rice and beans, we do the sauteed veggies. Now, this is zucchini, bell peppers, mushrooms. But look, all of this also comes in. So I've just painstakingly been peeling it out. But you see, that's corn and carrots. Look how much that was. Last time they were able to kind of like go through and pick that out for me, but they acted like it was like a big deal, so I just didn't even ask. I just did it myself.
Then we have our little cheese and guac and pico. The pico also has cord that you have to pick out. And then I ordered their lime butter as a side. So you see I got 4 of them here for us. And then beef fajitas. So that's our dinner, y'all. Yum. And that's the rest. Look, we have hardly touched that queso, right? But it feels like we've ate a lot, but not much.
It was full.
I know, but it's still pretty full. Y'all, I was just trying to get him, and I barely breathed. And he was like, okay, Bob's ready for more coffee. I mean, they kind of know my schedule, right? But I thought this was the cutest thing. Over here in the corner, if he'll move again, see all the toys he has there? I think he likes to get all of the toys, and then he lays in the middle, like he surrounds them. See all of these toys, and he laid right there in the middle. You kind of see the gap. Like he's like, oh, I'm surrounded by all these toys. This is the best life ever. Right, Sam? And I've decided, I know we named him Samson, but I think in honor of LOTR, he should be Samwise. Right? You're Samwise, aren't you? Loyal to the end. Before I drink another cup of coffee, I figure I should have my water here. Look, I have it completely turned around for y'all. And then you can walk with me, because isn't that always enjoyable? There, my TKK mug. It's so good. So every night, I fill it to the brim with cubed ice, because that melts a little slower, and some water. And then by morning, it's like perfect as far as, ooh, look at that. As far as the, it melts, but then it's still, wow, where did I go? It's still cool. So it's very refreshing in the morning. Okay, so we're just walking, and I thought I would tell y'all while I'm making another cup of coffee. Turn the lights on. Ooh, look at that. Anybody else like that? Heath gets on me all the time. I'm just kind of a turn all the lights off, like keep the lights off. Plus, I don't like it like really bright all the time. I kind of like everything muted or dim. I don't like to be surrounded by bright lights. Anybody else like that? And am I just like being too strict in my turn the lights off? Oh my gosh, we don't need to have the light on if you're not in the room kind of thing. Maybe that's just me. But letting the dogs out. So we're out here in the, oh, it's a nice cool day. I love it. Heath is like, oh my gosh, it's so cold. I bet he's wearing his flannel jacket and jeans today. But I love it. I'm just like, oh, this feels so good. But yeah, so I let the dogs out and I go do my other cup of coffee. And my goodness, sorry y'all. All these people always calling me. So let me see where I'm at. Where did he do? Oh, there he is. He moved stuff on me. So let me go get, Heath is making him some queso. Get my reheating measuring cup. You know, we're high class here. But anyways, what I was going to talk to y'all about, I mentioned the other day, and I kind of got busy, is your why. Sorry, that's loud. So, another why for me, if you haven't, basically, here's the really, really short version of my story, is I knew, probably for 10 or more years, that I was a diabetic. Like, I'd had a couple doctors actually give me insulin, an insulin prescription, an insulin starter kit, and was like, yeah, you need to do this. And I saw my stepdad and my mother, you know, they went through all that. And my stepdad, I was always like he was so aware. Like, he would do where he tested his blood sugar like 5 to 10 times a day. He, you know, took his medication as prescribed. Like, he followed the doctor's recommendations. And guess what? He never got better. He got worse. Eventually lost a toe, then a leg. and he was on dialysis, and I'm like, okay, like, that's my future, right? And then I was thinking, well, if that's my future, what's the point in taking insulin? Like, I don't want to suffer like he did for so long. I was like, I ain't gonna go through that. So I literally just threw it in my trunk when they would give that to me. I was like, I ain't worried about it, right? So I never took insulin. I knew I was diabetic. And again, we were very much yellow. So we were foodies. We love trying new dishes, going out to eat, trying new restaurants. Sorry, just wiping down. I always wipe down counters and stuff on my break. But anyways, and so I know it's about diabetic. Well, we went on this really long trip. Went to New Zealand. Ended up, I got a flesh-eating bacteria. And if I had waited like 6 more hours, I would have been dead. So, and flesh-eating bacteria is like a really high, or really, really low survival rate, right? Like most people, like 2/3 of the people end up dying from it, mostly because they don't get it treated in time. And I did kind of delay even going because, you know, you're like, whatever. You don't know it's a flesh-eating bacteria, you know, because it's on the inside that it's eating you, not the outside, you know. So I ended up in a hospital, and the doctor basically told me, you know, the reason why most people who get, like, there's some people, if you're very healthy, you've probably had a flesh-eating bacteria, but if you're very healthy, your body has the immune system to just fight it off. You might feel a little under the weather, maybe have like a boil or something, and then it goes away. But he's like, you know why your body couldn't? I was like, well no, I guess because I'm unlucky. And he was like, no, because your diabetes is so bad. My A1C was 13.6, y'all. He's like, your diabetes is so bad, you're so unhealthy metabolically, that your immune system could not even fight an outside illness because it was too busy fighting itself. So then anything from the outside, he said, it could be the flu, it could be a cold. In this case, it was a flesh-eating bacteria. Your body, like the armies that defend you, they're elsewhere. They can't go on any foreign attacker. So anything that comes in, it basically can run rampant, right? And so because of that, he's like, that's why it was so bad and you almost died. I was like, oh yeah, that sucks, right? And he's like, so, and these are the words that I'll always remember. And he's like, so what are you going to do about it? I was like, oh gosh, like I have to do something, right? And those words still stick with me. So I'm like, yeah. So anytime I'm having like a hard time or anything, I don't go, woe is me, this is just life, it just sucks, blah, blah, blah. I go, no, freaking Shelly, what are you going to do about it? Because I have to do about it. I can't rely that something else is going to happen, that there's going to be a medication or something that's going to fix it. I have to take charge. And that was the moment I was like, okay, so he says it's the diabetes that's causing this. So if I could, there's got to be a way. Like, I shouldn't have to take insulin forever. There's got to be a way I can reverse or fix this diabetes. There's just got to be a way, right? And then that's how I found Dr. Barry. And that's how I then started my keto journey. So that's my number one why, is not to be diabetic anymore. Y'all, last time I had my A1C checked, it was 5.4. So I went from 13.6 to 5.4. And that was, I mean, it did take time, but I mean, in the hospital, they were having to give me insulin constantly, like every time I ate. And by day 8 in the hospital, they were like, oh. And even the nurses were like, kind of weird. They were like, oh, we don't have to give you insulin. Like, they were kind of taken aback. And it was like, that's when I knew right then, okay, this is working. Whatever it is, it's working. And that's basically been my why. is I don't want to be a diabetic. And I'm telling you, that is such a strong drive because, yeah, sometimes I am tempted and it's like, oh, well, I could have this, or, oh, I see these people eating fruit and honey and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, I mean, everybody can do whatever they want to do, right? But I'm like, okay, but Shelly, you know historically how your body handles excessive carbs and sugars. How does your body handle it? Your body's like, oh, well, we'll just be a diabetic. That's how my body handles it. And me being keto, even though it's going on 4 years now since all that happened, me being diabetic, or not being a diabetic rather, for almost 4 years now, even if I have the sugar, that doesn't mean my body all of a sudden is like, oh, you're metabolically healthy. No, because I have to remember, I was metabolically unhealthy for probably at least 30 years of my life. I mean, at least from a child, I started gaining weight when I was 5 years old. So I consider I was metabolically unhealthy for 30 plus years of my life. So even if I go, like the couple of times my coach was like, oh, have an off-plan meal, and I did that, my body still doesn't, it still goes back to, what do we do with sugar? Oh yeah, sugar we can't handle, so we're going to skyrocket the insulin, we're going to raise the glucose levels, because that's what we did for a long time, for over a decade at least, and that's all my body knows how to do. So I can't expect that after just a couple of years of being keto that my body's suddenly going to know what to do with it. No, my body is still healing from 3 decades of being metabolically unhealthy. So I can't expect that within a few years, it's going to automatically heal everything. Like, it's going to take time. And so that's my number one why, is I have to make sure that I don't get to that place again. I'm, older in my age now. I don't feel like I have like 100 years left on me, right? So I don't want to end up in my 70s, 80s, 90s, barely able to get around, having to take insulin and all that stuff, right? So my why is, oh, yeah, I could eat those chips. I could eat anything I want to eat. That's what Heath and I always say. There's no can't in keto. It's all I can. I can do whatever I want. But my why tells me, I don't want those things, because it's more important that I remain a healthy person than to have some 5-second indulgent of a food, right? So I hope you like that. If you want the unedited version, I know this is a long rant, but guess what? There's a longer one. If you go to the home tab on YouTube, our story's at the top, so you can listen to the unedited, full on documentary of my story, y'all. Friday lunch, I've got 3 pronounced sausages, 4.5 tablespoons of mayo, and it's a mix of my homemade and the Primal Kitchen. Just trying to kind of use mine enough until maybe I can fix it correctly. And then I'm still drinking my coffee, and that's it for lunch. And then tonight, go back and watch the Friday Night Feast, y'all. We are making breakfast for dinner. It's going to be Ketochow blueberry pie waffles with more Purnells. And then I'm also going to make a Ketochow blueberry muffin with the blueberry pie. So y'all want to definitely see that. It's going to be good. Saturday afternoon, y'all, I really slept in today. It was amazing. And what I've got today is 3 of those Purnell Old Folk sausage patties. It looks like 4 slices of bacon, but it's 2 cut in half. 3 tablespoons of mayo, and it's a mix of our homemade and the Primal Kitchen. Just trying to even it out with mine until I can correct it. And then, of course, I've got my coffee. And it's just the coconut oil
And then when you blend it up, it gets it nice and foamy and creamy looking. And then everything's kind of all bunched here because today's the cook-along. And look at that. My handsome man just cooking me some meat.
Who? All I say is Heath.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
So he is making ribs. They've already been on for
2 hours smoke.
Yeah, 2 hours of smoke.
Now I'm dotting these with half a full stick of butter each rib. We got 2 ribs going and a 9-pound pork loin.
And then later on, by request, we are going to be making our mustard barbecue sauce.
And that's what we're making this for, so we could top it with that sauce.
Yeah, and then we could try all of that yumminess. So excited, you guys. And that's our Saturday. I hope y'all were able to watch the Friday night feast. That turned out amazing. What did you like more, the waffles or the muffins?
Muffins.
Wow.
It seems like the blueberry was more potent on it.
Yeah, it definitely came through. But yeah, that's it. And then, of course, he's putting on these ribs, our seasoning, pork or poultry rub. Yeah, I moved it. And yeah, this is looking so good, you guys. I love, and these are baby back ribs. They're actually it said pork loin baby back ribs, or what did it say?
Pork loin baby back ribs. Is right. The package is right there behind you. And the sausage. I mean, in the trash can.
I ain't gonna go digging through the trash can. But yeah, that's it. And we're good to go. I'm excited for tonight's cook-along. And it's going to be a yummy, yummy dish.
And this was a brand new batch. And look, I already used that much on it.
Wow. But that was for 3 things.
Right.
And we're very generous with our seasoning. And the puppers are here. Look at them. Oh, wait. There she is. Look. She's like, there. You're on film now. You're a movie star, Delilah. I know. You're so humble about it. There's Sam. It, y'all, is a stormy day. Like, I did to get to sleep in a little bit, and but the dogs didn't get fed right away because it was raining so bad. They didn't want to go outside. It's like, well, we're not gonna like jinx them or booby trap them, as Heath would say, and feed them, and then they won't go outside, and then, you know, you gotta go. So, I mean, we all do extended fast. They did extended fast. Of course, they didn't like it. And then I got up finally and fed them, and then I took them out. Like, Sam was, you know, it's thundering and everything. He's like, I don't know. So I was like, look, I'm going out with you. You have to hold his little paw. And then he was like, okay. And then he went and, of course, had to use the restroom. So that was good. But yeah, our backyard is a swamp again. But it'll drain. It's just, hopefully we keep electricity because Heath is working today. Oh, look at this. I know. So I thought I would talk to you about another reason why I do keto. So, you know, my whole life I felt like basically I never really had energy. Even as a child, you know, like my nieces and nephews, you know, they'd just run around for hours. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to like bottle and sell that energy so much. Well, as a child, I never really had that. I wasn't like, you know, hyper or anything like that. I just was same as I am now. I'm like, oh, I'll just lay on the couch. And, you know, as I got older, it would get worse because I was just so tired all the time, just exhausted. I felt like my feet were cement blocks. Like, it just took effort to push myself to do stuff. And it's mentally, I wanted to do things, especially as, you know, when you're a kid or a teenager, you're like, I want to do all that fun stuff. And then it's just like, oh, it takes so much effort, because that's what it felt like. Like I was having to fight, you know, an uphill battle, as they say.
Trying to find good lighting here. But that's how I always felt, right? And then I remember as a young adult when I was working, it'd be like, oh, where do I have to park? Oh, I don't want to have to. Here, I think this is better over here. I don't want to have to walk from, like, I hate to go to the mall because it was like, oh, then I'm going to have to park so far away. And, what a drag to have to get to basically have a workout before I even get to what I want to do, right? That was always the issue. Like, it's just draining. I know some people, they talk about like as spoons. You only have so many spoons in a day. And that's kind of how it felt. Because it was like, well, if I do this, then I ain't going to be able to do anything else. Because it literally took all of my effort to get stuff done. Now, I do know part of that is because I have sleep apnea. Like, again, since I was a child, I just had sleep apnea and I was just so tired. And so when I got the machine, it did help some, but I was still like, ugh, right? And so finally, felt that way. And no matter what I did, I still felt that tired. Even I remember when the first time I was really trying to focus on my health, I went vegan. And I, at the same time, was walking a mile a day. So, I got, the sneakers and everything. I'd force myself to do the mile of walk. And yeah, I'd be, pleased that I did it. But it was still just like, I had to consciously push myself to do it. And don't ask me to do a mile 0.1 because that was 0.1 more than I had planned. And so it wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, still tired and still felt like cement blocked feet. I don't know if anybody else can get what I'm saying, but that's how it just felt like just lifting my feet took so much effort. So like when I worked at this big corporate job, you had a huge parking lot and I would get to work earlier, like an hour early, just so I could get better parking. Let me know if anybody else has done stuff like that. Because it was like, well, if you got there at a certain time, you would have to park so far away that was the worst part for me. And then, coworkers would be like, I'd rather get here, 15 minutes till, and it didn't bother them to have to walk from way across just to get inside the building. But to me, it was like, oh, now I got to do that. And then I avoid going out at lunch because then more than likely, if you went out for lunch, when you returned, you'd have to park so far away again. So that's how it always was, just not having the energy. Well, when I started going keto, I started having energy. I was like, wait, and it's a hard thing. It honestly is hard. So again, I feel like even though we are regaining our health, we still have our mental health and our mental challenges. So I come back and I have now the energy. I feel like, honestly, my feet have been set free from the cement blocks. And now I can go and do things. Like we've gone on trips. We went on one trip, we went to Niagara Falls. We walked 11 miles in the day. And I wasn't trying to keep track of, I'm only going to do this. It was like, oh, we only have to walk a mile. We could do that. It's just now I don't feel like there's anything holding me down, preventing me from going. So I have that energy. But mentally speaking, right, when we go to the store or whatever, it's like, oh, I don't want to have to park far away. And it's because that same mindset, decades of me always thinking that, try to get the closest parking spot. And it's like now, physically, I can do it. But mentally, sometimes I have to go, Shelly, you could do this. Why are you being silly saying, oh, well, look, I want this parking spot that's right by the door. You can have the furthest parking spot now. So sometimes I do I'll be like, well, I don't want that one. I want, the parking spot that's near the cart return, because then it's, easier to return the cart, especially if it's raining, like if y'all can hear right now. But that's one thing that's another reason why I do keto, is because of the energy. I love having the energy to do things. And sometimes now I even push myself a little further because I know I can do it. And let me know if any of these whys are ringing true with y'all. For my coffee today, I thought I'm going to change it up. I'm going to do butter, because we got this Kerrygold butter. We just got it at Costco. Look how nice and rich and deep yellow that is. Such a beautiful color when you look at like other butters. So I'm going to do 6 tablespoons of the butter for all this coffee. And look, there's still some draining. So again, it amounts to about 3 cups of coffee. 3.5 approximately. So yeah, that's going to be my coffee. And I'm cooking my lunch because it's almost 1 o'clock, y'all. And even though I didn't sleep in as late as I wanted, I feel like I've been kind of sluggish this morning. I did get a video edited, ready and scheduled for tomorrow. And I started doing the HungryHorde Eats, getting all of those pictures added so I create that trailer. So definitely go add your stuff to the HungryHorde headquarters. I'm loving sharing these. But yeah, this is going to be my lunch. It's 2 slices of bacon, 3 Pernell sausage, and then I was like, why not? Let's have a jalapeno and some mushrooms with this. So that's all getting cooked in all that lovely fat, and then of course I'll serve it with some more fat. I'll show you that when it's done. It is Sunday morning, and I thought I would try an actual breakfast tea. And this is that beautiful tin I got for my birthday. And look how beautiful it is. Such beautiful design. And then it was real fancy smancy inside. Well, isn't that pretty? And then it came in a bag, and I had to open the bag. And then there's all the tea bags. So I guess you're supposed to kind of like seal that back up. You never had fancy schmancy tea. And this is what it looks like. So, very beautiful color. That's what I'm going to start my day with while I'm making my coffee. I'm still going to have coffee. But I'm going to start with some breakfast tea. So here is my Sunday lunch. And I have 3 Pernell sausages, 2 slices of the bacon. And then this is the sauteed in all of that wonderful fat, the jalapenos and mushrooms. And then I have 3 tablespoons of my homemade mayo. And then the red stuff is that Love Chamoy. Just a great topper, I think. Good play, especially with the jalapenos. Anything spicy goes really well with it. And then this is my mug of the week. No drama llama. And that's what I'm going for. What in creation, Shelly? I am making another batch of our MCT. That stands for Moist Clown Tears. That's our hot sauce. So I have peppers because I use ghost and scorpion peppers. I buy them dried from a online source. And they're supposed to be like top-notch peppers. I first dry, I guess saute, but it's just dry. I just kind of toast them a little bit. Then I put them in here in a cleaned, like this is cleaned, y'all. Fresh out of the dishwasher. But anyways, then I reconstitute them with water. Do that for about 15 minutes. And then in the pan, so yes, it is dirty because the batch I started last week, I just bottled. And so there's a little bit left in there. And it does have some onion. And then the black bits is actually black garlic. I was like, ooh, I've got all this black garlic. I need to be using it, so why don't I see how it turns out in the in our hot sauce. So it'll be a special batch. We'll see how it turns out. And I was looking, as you know, we have a wall of flame. That's it. That's our hot sauce. Moist Clown Tears. Look at that clown, y'all. His cousin did the artwork for us. Look at the word moist. Isn't that awesome? So I found out from one batch, I'm able to bottle 4 of this size, full bottles, 4 of those, and then I had a little bit left over, and so I'm starting another batch, and once this is done, it usually takes a week, so I put it in here, and I let it ferment for a week before then I do the finishing touches, and then get it bottled up. So I'm always excited. The one today, when I bottled it, the leftover, I had it on a couple pork rinds, and oh my gosh, it's so good. It's salty, but then you really get that heat, and you get the heat in the back part as well, and then your sinuses, and you start crying, and your nose starts dripping. But to me, it's a good heat that is tasty. It's not one of those where you're like, oh, it's all I can do is taste the heat. No, it actually has a really good flavor profile where you can enjoy it. If you enjoy spicy, that is, you can enjoy it and still taste the hot sauce. If anybody has tried our MCT, please comment below and let us know what you think. Like, honest review. You can be as critical as possible. Sunday night dinner, I've got some of the baby back ribs with our mustard glaze, and jalapeno with some goat cheese, a couple of mushrooms with goat cheese, and then what I have here is 3 tablespoons of our homemade mayo mixed with that mustard barbecue sauce. And then I'll just put it on the ribs and kind of eat it as is. But yeah, that's it. And of course, I've got my Topo back. Topo Chico, y'all. Happy Monday, y'all. I can't believe how fast. Tomorrow is the end of January. And it's just like, I'm like, February already? This week? Wow, it's crazy to me. For lunch today, I'm having 3 Purnell sausages. And that is the Chinoy sauce. This is 3 tablespoons of my homemade mayo. You can see it's already melted. It's like as soon as it comes to room temp, it just melts everywhere. And then I have my final cup of coffee. And I did do some heavy cream that was whipped up. And yesterday and today, I both did my coffee with the Kerrygold butter. I have to say, with Kerrygold, the coffee does seem creamier. Like with the coconut oil, like I could tell that there's fat in it because my lips get very silky smooth. And it does add just a hint of coconut, but doing the butter just makes it extra creamy, which that makes sense because there is like a little bit of whey in that. But it's just really nice, very creamy. So if you don't like the coconut oil, then just do some butter. And of course, I would say do a higher quality butter, because I've noticed with like the cheap brand butter, it's just not as good. But with like a Kerrygold or an Amish butter or even a Dutch butter, I mean, it's just perfect. And of course, I know it looks really creamy because I've got heavy cream on top. But yeah, that's my lunch today. Monday night dinner, y'all. I have got some of that smoked tenderloin, pork tenderloin, a little bit of the end of the ribs, pork baby back ribs, and then I've got a couple halves, so 1 whole jalapeno stuffed with some goat cheese, and a couple little tiny mushrooms with goat cheese. So there's maybe an ounce of goat cheese. And then I've got 3 tablespoons of Primal Kitchen mayo topped with more of our mustard barbecue sauce. And then I also had some of the pork fat, and I drizzled that all on top. And you kind of see a little bit in there. So always gotta remember to get that fat in. Tuesday lunch, and I'm having again my 3 Purnell sausages. That's my mayo, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but the last 2 times I've tried to make mayo, it keeps coming out liquid. And I didn't even add that much olive oil because I didn't want to waste it. But yeah, really sad. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on. But that's what that is. 3 tablespoons. I also have my coffee, and today again I made it with the Kerrygold butter, and that has some heavy cream. And then I've got my Redmond's hickory smoked salt. I just thought that would be a good addition here. Add that in there, and that's lunch. Tuesday dinner, and I've got 6 ounces of this pork tenderloin that Heath smoked. I've got 3 tablespoons of mayo, a jalapeno that I also just reheated in the skillet. There's a couple mushrooms sliced up under there. And then I've also got some avocado in a cup. And then to season things up, I've got some I Love Chamoy, Redmond's Real Salt, and the Flat Iron Pepper Company I Can't Feel My Face, and of course Topo. And I did drizzle just a little bit of Kinder's barbecue sauce on here, just add a little different flavor. So we'll see how I like it. And that's everything I ate today. Hey, it is Tuesday night, and it's really late, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. So hopefully my wonderful, amazing, terrific, outstanding, talented husband Heath will help me in the morning when he wakes up at 5:30. But anyhow,
you need to talk to your dogs about that.
Oh yeah, my dogs are still asleep this morning.
No,
sorry y'all.
6 o'clock they woke me up.
Oh, but you were up at 5:30 because I remember asking, what time is it? You were like 5:30.
I said almost 6. It's 5:57 when you asked me.
Well, nobody wants to hear us argue.
Are you sure?
But anyways, so I wanted to end this video with one more why. Remember, I started the video saying, you know, let's look at our whys. We're really keto, again, is not a weight loss diet. That was actually my memories today from, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. I shared from Dr. Jamie Seaman, and she says the ketogenic diet is not a weight loss diet. And that is true. And I know that that gets hard. Again, all of us, you know, yeah, we all want to lose weight, right? We're always chasing some number on the scale, so to speak. But we really need to change that mindset. So let's focus on our whys. So I'm going to say my last why is the food. Keto food is freaking amazing. Like, when you think about it, so many people that you know, that I know, that we know, that are basically eat like what would be considered the standard American diet, right? And I could go out and have filet mignon, ribeyes, bacon, pork belly. You know what happens most time when we go to a restaurant? We're like, look, instead of getting a side of potatoes, can we just get a side of bacon with the steak? I've never heard a waiter or anybody be like, oh, you want that? They're always like, oh, that sounds amazing. Because most people are like, oh, I've got to have my veggies. Oh, I've got to have, you know, a potato with my meat. But when they're given the option, like, hey, you could have bacon as a side to your steak, it's like, what? And that makes, really, the food's amazing. Let me rephrase that. When I think back to when we ate the standard American diet, like, a lot of that food was just cheap food, right? Because you had to eat 5-6 freaking times a day. You couldn't afford filet mignon that many times, right? You couldn't, you know, spend $20, $30 a meal. So you're trying to do whatever's cheap. And I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't have good food because, you know, we always were foodies. So we'd go to new restaurant openings and stuff like that. So we definitely had moments that we had really exquisite, high-end food, taste kitchen type food, you know, gastronomy. But more often than not, we were getting some fast food burger and fry or some cheap food, some box cheap food because, oh, look, I could buy a bag of rice or a bag of noodles or a bag of beans for less than $1. Let me add that in with, you know, this little bit of hamburger meat and this other stuff. And hey, now I've got a meal. Okay, so now you don't have to buy that and you don't have to eat 5 or 6 times a day. Like, I really enjoy the food that we eat now, and I don't miss, let me put it that way, I don't miss Pop-Tarts. Like, that's why a lot of times when I see some keto recreations, and somebody will probably come at me because I have no desire to try the keto Pop-Tart. That, like, I did not like Pop-Tarts before. I don't want them now. That was my thing. That if anytime I had a Pop-Tart, it was like bottom of the barrel. Like, okay, well, I need something because I'm supposed to have breakfast. And it did not fill me up. And it really didn't taste that good. Like, it tasted all stale. So why do I want that now? Like, that's not like a pleasant memory for me. But memories for me have always been like steak. Like, even when I was a vegan for 1.5 years, the one thing, and this is long before I was ever thinking of keto, the one thing I never lost a craving for was steak. And what does that tell you? You know, like, as a vegan, and I was like a hardcore vegan. I wasn't doing, you know, packaged food. Like, I was doing a lot of produce and cooking that and having salads, like all that kind of stuff. But I never ever lost the craving for a good, juicy, fatty steak. Because that's what we really need. That's the most nutrient-dense food. So why are we getting upset that we can't have rice or pasta or breads or chips and salsa? Why? That isn't the good part of it. That isn't the enjoyable part of it. Like, fajitas taste way better. Like, beef fajita or even chicken fajita if you have to. And pour it on, like, some melted butter. That tastes a lot better to me than the chips. The chips was filler. It was what you did while you waited to get your food. And then you'd be too full to finish the good parts of your food. Like, why am I sweating over not getting that type of food? What do you think, Heath?
Yes, Chef.
I'm asking your honest opinion.
I believe you. That's perfect.
Like,
that's a good way of saying it. I don't miss it at all.
Right. And maybe that's just something I know some of you have been doing it for less than 1 year. And I can see when you're first new that sometimes the mentality is you're focused on what you used to eat instead, and again, this kind of circles back to the beginning, focus on what you can eat, what you really want to eat. Because to me, pork belly, bacon, sausage, steaks, I mean, all of that is freaking delicious. And all the real butter, heavy cream, you know, coconut oil. Full fat cheese. Like, all the different cheeses. Like, I would take any of those over some kind of, like, we saw something on a show earlier today. Like, they had a big old bread basket that had all kinds of, like, different breads. And I was like, that's not even appealing. Like, that's just taking up steak room. I don't want to take up steak room. I want my whole steak. Or maybe extra steak. Or we were looking at the cruise, this other one that we're thinking of for 2024. And I was like, like, I want to have that ribeye, and I want the shrimp, and I want the beef carpaccio. Like, those are all the things that look good. The stuff like bread and, I think there was like some other, oh, it was like these cheesy tots or something. I was like, that's just
silly French toast.
Yeah, or there's like this French toast that's covered in sprinkles. I'm like, why would I want to have that when then I wouldn't be able to fill up on all of the steak and bacon and goodness? But these are my thoughts, y'all. Again, just my random thoughts. Let me know, again, what is your why? What do you think of mine? You know, maybe you don't agree and you're like, oh my gosh, Shelly, you're completely off. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, especially this ending, I mean, this is like high class. Look at me. I'm like fresh out of the shower and everything. Oh, my hair's still damp. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Make sure you leave me a comment if you made it to this point. I would say, leave the comment.
Wet hair don't care.
That's a long comment.
They're able to type.
Oh, wet hair don't care. And just thank y'all so much again for watching this every week. You probably are like watching it because it's like, well, what's she gonna do this week, right? Mm-hmm. But thank y'all again, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And please stay tuned to see all of our wonderful channel members. I love seeing all of y'all every month on our cook along, and thank y'all again so much for your support. Bye.